Right, evening all. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday night hangover from Claret and Booze. If you followed our two shows on Friday and Saturday, you'll realise we've had a few drinks. We've had a few drinks over the weekend, it must be said. And now the dust has settled and the weekend's over, let's look back and close off the Chelsea game. Also, we'll talk about the injury concerns that we've got, and then we'll look forward to next week's games. Won't focus so much on Burnley. We'll leave that until Friday, but we'll talk about Croatia Zagreb. That's going to be an interesting one on Thursday. And we'll do a team selector to try and second guess what Moyes' plans are going to be. But before we go there, let's have an end of weekend check. So, John, how's your weekend been?
It's been good, mate. And the fact that I'm having a coffee says it all. I've drunk more than I have for a while, to be honest with you. I think I'm getting into the Christmas spirit. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. Obviously, the result helped, and just feeling it now. Dreading Monday morning 5:30 a.m. alarm. You know.
It's a nasty fault, isn't it? How about you, Nick?
Yeah, same really. I mean, from a footballing perspective, it can't really get much better than that, can it? But normally we have. I've got my boys' football on a Sunday morning, but that got called off this morning. And I've got to be honest, when I because it was scheduled to be an early kickoff in Stevenage, and when I did get that phone call, I wasn't that disappointed. I've got to be honest. It was a bit of a bonus. But yeah, it's been all right. I haven't really got up to much, to be honest, apart from just go and watch Ben go round and round a go-kart circuit for 2 hours.
There's nothing quite like, I remember it from my kids, there's nothing quite like going and standing on a freezing cold field on a Sunday morning. It's just horrible. It's horrible.
I know.
So let's wrap up Chelsea. We discussed it a lot last night. A great review show that we did with Stel. But before we go there, I want to share something with you. At the game on Saturday, I've mentioned this on here before. At the game on Saturday, I stayed until the end, and that's rare for me. I mean, I've been going to West Ham for all these years, and I think it started with my dad. My dad wanted to leave dead on 90 minutes to avoid the traffic, and it just became a habit, right? So we ended up doing it every bloody game, and I've just kept it up. I've kept up the tradition, leaving bang on 90 minutes, avoid. Let all the others stay behind. I think I've probably missed about 5 goals in 30 years leaving on 90 minutes. But anyway, on Saturday, I stayed until the bitter end. Really glad I did. My son Ross took a video of Bubbles from the Bobby Moore stand, and I tweeted it. I think last night or yesterday, or last night or this morning, and I got an email from West Ham to say, "Do you mind if we use your video?" I said, yeah, you can do that as long as you retweet. And they did. They retweeted me. So that was quite good. But anyway, I'm just going to share it with the audience. It's a lovely little moment. Here we go. So that'll be appearing on some sort of West Ham product soon. You can guarantee it. So
look, you get some bunts out of it.
Oh yeah, you're joking, aren't you? Yeah, I was speaking to someone today, and they asked him for a couple of videos, and I don't know what he asked for in return, but it was something like just a mention or something. And they said, "No, piss off, mate.
You'll get some club points to spend in the shop."
I said to him to start with, I said, "You can have the video as long as you mention Claret and Boo's YouTube channel." They said, "No, we can't do that."
Yeah, not doing that.
I like the fact you asked, though. I like the fact you asked.
Yeah. Don't ask, don't get. So, so look, onto the game. We covered a review last night. Incredible performance. Another celebratory drink last night. So 2 nights running. So still impressed with the way Moyes went for it, even after faced with a couple of very, very serious defensive injuries. And to come back from 1 goal down twice against the league leaders and current European champions ain't bad, is it? Ain't bad, really. So, but don't want to review the game again. So, what did we learn from the game? I mean, over to you, John. What did you take from it?
I took from it that even with our limited squad, those that come in can perform and can give it their best shot. And really, Arthur and Lanzini and people were questioning Dawson and Diop coming out the cold and did very well overall. So I think it sort of proved that although we have this small squad that we think about, I think the squad mentality, togetherness, and the atmosphere in the squad is sort of seeping through, even those that ain't playing. So you sort of don't have a fear of anyone coming in from the cold to some extent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree. I agree with you.
When you've got that sort of camaraderie going on behind the scenes, and a lot of credit to Moyes, the coaching staff, Nevin, Pearce, and so on, Nolan. You can only imagine what it's like in there. It might be a little bit of a boys' club at times, a little bit of a little bit of sort of jokes going on. But you don't question anyone. You question them, but I mean, you don't question their desire and their desire to want to fit into the team and carry on with the ethos that's already there.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, no, pretty much sort of echo what John just said. To be honest, I mean, what has become apparent since the Liverpool win is that we can be vulnerable and we can be complacent at times and we can get things wrong, which is fine, providing you can do what we did there against Chelsea, and you can kind of it just proves that we can have a blip. We can have a blip, and that's what we had, and we've come through it. And do you know what? And the crazy thing is that is a blip for us. A loss against Man City, which shouldn't really even be counted. A loss away to Wolves against a really good team. And do you know what? Even if we'd have played really well at Wolves, we could have lost it. And obviously the Brighton game, and that is a blip for us now. But to sort of bounce back in that game there against Chelsea, that really took some doing, and I think that's. It sort of epitomised everything that the West Ham is at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. So when are you going to stop reacting after we lose a game so badly?
You may. Yeah. Would you like me to stop reacting badly after we lose?
No, I love it. I love it.
You can if you want. I can stop reacting if you want. That's fine. Yeah.
So look, for me, I took a couple of things away from there, and I was absolutely just amazed, impressed with Gerard Bowen yesterday. I think he's just been so good this year, and I think it's down to that extra training he did in the summer. This is a guy who's absolutely committed to doing better, becoming a better and better player. I think I also learned that Ben Rama's a really good sub. Right, that's
not derogatory though, is it? That's not derogatory. Like that's.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
I mean, look at
he's a good carrier pigeon. I mean, he's
don't start, Nick. Jesus Christ.
But I think if you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was a good sub, and he ended up going on to manage Man U. So maybe one day Ben Rama's going to manage West Ham.
Are you comparing Ben Rama to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because of one substitute appearance? Look, no, I agree with you. I think I didn't mind. I don't mind seeing Ben Rama coming off the bench. Is actually quite exciting. He's an impact player.
Yeah,
he's an impact player. He's a type of player that you want. He can do something, can't he? He can do something a bit different. So no, I think that's fine. But keep him as a sub. I agree with Claire in the chat. Keep him as a sub.
Keep him as a sub. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I also thought we've learned over the last couple of days. We've learned over the last couple of games that Antonio is he's got to be on his game. When he's on his game, he's fantastic. When he's not on his game, he's just a complete waste of time. I don't want to say it, but first half and second half yesterday, that was chalk and cheese, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, massive difference, wasn't it? Massive difference, and you just wonder. You wonder what you. You wonder what was
shut my speckled Jim. I'll be needing the black cap.
Like to have been in the change room at half time, see what was said.
Yeah.
I wonder what Moyes is like. I don't know if he's a shouter or not. You know what I mean? Because he's Scottish, you've got this idea that he's some nutty Scottish Rabsy Nesbitt type at half time. You know what I mean? But
I think he is. You've only got to look at his eyes. The guy's got fucking mad eyes. Right?
But when he does an interview, he's so calm and collected. Like when he does one of the interviews on the telly, he never says anything, to the mark or anything close to the mark, and that he's very professional. Even Ferguson used to let it slip sometimes. You know what I mean? Well, more often than not.
It's in the eyes, though, isn't it? And I always
Yeah.
used to think that, everyone used to think that Arsene Wenger was a nice, calm character. Apparently, he was a real bastard behind the scenes, right? So it's all in the eyes. Wenger had mad eyes as well. So I also took out of that game yesterday that we need defenders, we need them bad. And that's going to take us on to our next talking point in this fast-paced show, injuries. So the game was hampered we were hampered anyway by injuries, two very key ones. To Johnson, who looks like hamstring, and the magnificent, back to his best yesterday, Kurt Zouma, who may have suffered another ACL injury. He had a pop. It was from his knee, we think. He's having scans tomorrow. That could be a disaster. We could end up with him and Ogbonna out for the whole season, which would be bloody horrible. And look, from two wonderful wins against Liverpool and Chelsea, it means we've sacrificed both our centre-halves in those games. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really horrible question, isn't it? But would you take the wins, or would you rather have the defenders back?
Mate, I'd probably. Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? Whatever you say, I think I'd probably have. I'd rather have the defenders back.
Yeah.
Because points you can gain at another time of the season, but players like Ogbonna and Zuma's already how important he's been already so early on in his career with us, and even to some degree Johnson, massive losses. I mean, we've lost 4 defenders now already. Obviously, we don't know the extent of Cresswell's injury yet. So,
well, Cresswell was starting light training yesterday, so we think that Cresswell will be on his way back. Johnson is a hamstring. It's either a pull or a tear, so it's 2 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks. We've got cover in that position anyway, as long as Sue Fowl stays fit. And Fredericks, he ain't going to stay fit anyway, but one of them should stay fit. But it leaves us with a bit of a difficult situation around centre halves, because we're down to our last 2 senior centre halves in Dawson and Diop. And they both played pretty well yesterday, especially Diop. I was really impressed with Diop, I thought. They're also, we're going to talk about the Croatia game afterwards, but where else have we got cover for centre half in the senior squad? And apparently, Crowell can play centre half.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Someone has said that. I'm saw that on socials. Yeah,
he's got the haircut for it, hasn't he? So he could do that. He could do that. No one's.
But has he ever played centre half at senior level? Because he might be able to play centre half. That's fine. But he was a midfielder for Sparta Prague, wasn't he?
Nick, the spring he gets from that haircut, he could probably edit further than most people.
I wondered where David Luiz had gone.
Yeah,
incognito on the West Ham bench.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious one. I've got to be honest. The obvious one, if we need real leadership at the back, is Rice, isn't it? It's Rice.
Yeah.
I think
then you've got these two. You've got a few youngsters that we should see on Thursday, so that'd be good, interesting for that game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think this is a good point from James.
Hi, Happy Hammerette.
I'll come back there in a minute. But hello, Happy Hammerette. How are you? The best weekend since the 7th of November. Yeah, these are coming fast and furious, these weekends, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I think James was just reinforcing the point that you made earlier about, we don't have to be completely at our best even to beat the top teams. It's just our, cohesiveness and everything else what we've got in that squad that's really brilliant. Also, I don't want to throw this in there because it's really piss you off, but Declan Rice can play centre half as well.
I just said that, yeah.
Did you?
I literally just said that. I said,
did you just say that?
If you need leadership at the back, then you put Rice at the back.
We don't listen to Nick unless he's ranting. That's the problem.
Sorry, I was reading the comments and I've got a hangover, so I can't multitask. I can't listen and read at the same time.
Typical fella.
Sorry about that. I can't. I don't want to see Rice go back into defence, but I think maybe we might see it against one of the big sides where we need a little bit of extra. But other than that, I think we're looking forward to the next couple of games. I mean, you just got to hope that Kurt Zouma's injury is not as bad. Oh, Crowell plays centre half to Police. Is it to Police? For a short while Slavia. also played there for Czech underage. Could be a revelation there for us. Yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting to see if he can do it or not. I mean, it's a bit of a wild card.
It's not a very Moyes thing to do, is it? What
do you mean?
Well, look, for a start, Crowell hasn't even really played his way into our team yet, and then to go and play him, I know that might be a position that he can play in. I mean, look, played there at Czech underage, but in his senior career, he's a midfielder, and he can't even get into the team as a midfielder. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that.
Well, yeah, the difficulty is whoever you bring in, whether he brings in the youngsters or whether he gives Crow a go there, whoever he plays there has never played there for us. So they've got to be given a go either way. I don't think it'd be Crow either. I think if anything, he'll blood some of the youngsters. Personally speaking, I think.
Yeah, we won't take Rice out of midfield, will we? Do you know what? I hope not, because obviously that leaves a massive void. But it does depend how it depends if and how we struggle. I mean, if we get one more injury, we're going to have to, aren't we?
Very true.
Yeah, and I think maybe try him. I'm not sure who Claire's referring to, whether it's Krell or Deck. We know Deck can play there already. Krell. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing a Krell trial on Thursday. I don't see why we wouldn't just use that to try all the bits. This game has actually come at a really perfect time for us, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a trial game, isn't it? It's going to be like a training game.
Yeah.
No, but then you got the kids that we've all been talking about. You got Alicia and Baptiste who are both.
I think Crow will. I think Crow will play Thursday in the centre midfield, and I think one of the youngsters, if not two, will play in the centre backs. I'll be surprised if both centre backs are one of the youngsters. I think someone senior will go alongside them. Otherwise, you're a little bit throwing them into the lions a little bit. But stranger things have happened, didn't they?
Yeah. No, they have. Just one more mention for the Chelsea game. By the way, there were a couple of little videos that did the rounds after the game. One of them was from Souček going into the crowd, giving his shirt, and then running along the crowd and doing like hand claps all the way with all the supporters. Warms the cockles of the heart. That stuff, I love it. Yeah, and then Ben Rama, fucking hell, Ben Rama. Nick's trying not to like you, and if he saw this video, he'd just fall in love, right? He's come on the pitch.
I saw it. Yeah,
that little kid standing there, and he's gone up to him. He's giving him a little kiss. He's giving him his shirt. Apparently, that kid's been standing there asking for his shirt week on week for the last several weeks. So, Nick, you'll probably say, "Why the fuck didn't he give him his shirt earlier?"
No, you know what Nick said? Nick said, why didn't the kid get arrested for trespassing? He was on the pitch.
It's not anything else. Listen. We know how long it takes for Ben Rama to release the ball, so releasing a shirt is no surprise. Is it? Look, if he was my Deliveroo driver, I'd still be waiting for last night's dinner. Let's face it. Yeah.
So look, we've got
Souček with those high fives, as James said on Facebook. He said every time he high fived someone, that was like him smacking Nick round the face with every.
That's brilliant. Yeah, how many kids are playing Thursday? We're going to come to that in a minute, Paul.
Yeah.
Moyes will still want a clean sheet on Thursday. Very interesting. So look, let's focus on Thursday. The weekend's done. A great weekend is now behind us. We look forward to the next great weekend. Next week we've got 2 games. We're not really going to talk about Burnley. I'm going up there next Sunday, but we're going to leave that to Friday. Do the preview then on the Friday night booze up. So we're going to move on to Dinamo Zagreb on Thursday. So we go into the game as group winners. Yay us. Group winners, magnificent group winners. Zagreb need a point to qualify in second. And that's only if Genk beat Rapid Vienna at home, which they probably will. Genk are the best side we played, right?
Yeah.
All games kick off at 8 o'clock. So Zagreb won't have a clue what's going on in the other one. So they've, in theory, got to go out and try and win it. Moyes said, to the point just made by Appy Amaret, he said already that he wants to win this game. Winning breeds confidence, even though it's a dead rubber. We've got to think of our European record, I think. And, we've got to start expecting to qualify for Europe every single year now. We've got to be greedy. Mm-hmm. And if we do that, our European record is really important because we don't want to go into the draw like we did this year where we're unseeded. We've got to get that ranking up, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we're probably doing quite well with that at the moment, but it'll take a couple of years to get it up. But every loss is a blight on that record. So I don't want to just do. You said last night, Nick. You said, "I'll just play all the kids." No, that's what Allardyce did at Forest, and the kids got trounced. I don't want to see that. I want to see a mix. I want to see a mix of experience and youth, because that is the context in which the youth players are going to have to be used going forward, right?
Yeah,
they got to come into a senior side. Yeah. So look, we've already covered the injury situation. It's dire. The window's a few weeks away, so we've still got 7 games in December before the window even opens. But the Zagreb game has come exactly the right time to blood maybe 2 or 3 of our kids. Let's just talk about the kids at the moment. Centre halves, we've got a few good ones. Jamal Baptiste is supposed to be outstanding. Agi Alessi, especially if you saw a goal that he did the other day, it was a very un-centre half goal, but wriggled his way through, passed about the entire opposition team and slotted it into the corner. So they're 2 centre halves that could come into contention. Harrison Ashby, who's a great right back, probably the only position where we don't need a youngster as cover at the moment, unfortunately for him. And Frederick's being temporarily fit as well, because he won't be fit for very long. Left back, you got Emmanuel Longello. That's the one that I picked out anyway. On the left wing, we've got focus on the left with Arthur being one of the only covers that we've got. Maybe these people, I'm thinking they could do a shift at wing back or something. And that's Okaflex and Thierry Nevers. They're left wingers. And last but not least, definitely not least, in fact, he's so young he doesn't even appear online in the under-23 squad, and that is the 17-year-old Sonny Perkins up front, right? So there's a whole raft of players, of youngsters who can come in on Thursday. But what do you think? What kind of mix do you think Moyes will go for? And out of those players, and if you know any others, bring them up as well. What do you reckon he'll do? Nick?
No. As far as our A team goes, which we have got an A and a B team, we know that. I don't want to see one single first team player on Thursday night. I don't mind seeing the likes of Vlasic, Yarmolenko, players like that. That's fine. I don't want to see Fornals. I don't want to see Bowen. I don't want to see Landini. I don't want to see any of those players start. So, yes, there can be a mix of senior and youth, and there will be a mix of senior and youth. But I think, like John said, going into the market now, I think that our perspective might have been changed. I mean, obviously, we know that we were looking for a striker, and we're only going to have a certain amount of money. With this injury to Zuma, they're going to be forced to go out and look, and change their angle a little bit. So I think that it makes sense if we've got these talented youngsters that we've got that we're all talking about at the moment, Alesi and Baptiste. It makes sense to give them a chance before January, just to see if there is even the slightest chance that one of them might make the step up. It save you a fortune.
Well, I still think though, even if some of these youngsters come in at centre back, the 2 you've mentioned, and I know Stell and that's mentioned before. Even if they do make a good case for themselves, I still think Moyes will go out and buy a centre half anyway. He's not going to expect to play these kids week in, week out. He's going to look at them and say, right, these are good to have on the bench. I can trust them if I need them. I still think he'll go out and get someone on the cheap though, if not on loan.
Yeah, but on loan, I think on loan would be right. But I mean, in terms of him going out and sort of spending big on a defender at the moment,
no, he won't have to spend big though. I think I know who he'll go for. I think he'll go for Tarkowski. And he'll pick him up for £7 million, which is peanuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that how much he's available for now?
I think it's like 7-8 million. He's out of contract end of the season,
on a free in the summer.
And it'll be a typical Moyes signing. Not being disrespectful, not too expensive. He's played over 300 career games already. I think he's 28, 29. Will Burnley let him go? Is £7 million worth letting him go and getting relegated for? That's the problem you might have, but. I could see us going for someone like him for sure, as well as blooding the youngsters, and giving some of them a go as well somewhere along the line. But we've lost 2 centre halves and possibly a right back for some time. So you need 2 or 3 to step up and bring one in or something. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I personally think he will do a mix. There are a number of players I reckon will play. I don't think he's going to go with 2 kids at centre half, even though I wouldn't be against that. Baptiste and Alesi have been playing together in the under-23s. They're top of the under-23s as well. If they've got seasoned defenders either side of them, the trouble is one of those seasoned defenders might be Masuaku, right? That's the problem. The other side, you can have Fredericks, and that'd be great. I think if you're looking in midfield, surely, well, this is where it might be Krul, bringing Krul in to be a centre half to play alongside one of the kids might be a much better idea. Experience and youth mix, and then going into midfield, you've got a raft of players who perhaps don't get a game very often, like Noble, like Vlasic, Yarmolenko. Can't be Lanzini now because he's considered first team. Probably Ben Rama would be considered the B team now. Maybe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's interesting that because obviously Lanzini's only just come back into the team, but there could be an argument to some extent that he needs minutes. I know he's played very well since he's come in, but he might need minutes. But I don't think they'll play him. I'd like to see. People think I'm very thinking, but I'd like to see Dawson play centre half with one of the youngsters because he has such a vast well of the depth of experience that he's got. I think he could play him alongside one of the youngsters in centre back. I wouldn't be surprised. And Fredericks right and Masuaku left possibly.
Yeah. No,
I think Antonio needs a rest, definitely.
I don't think you'll see any of those sort of first team players, like the regulars, the ones who are playing every single game in the first team. I don't think you see any of those. You ain't going to see Souček or Rice or Antonio or I think Soufal will have a rest now as well. I think there'll be oh, here we go. So even though Okaflex and Nevers can't play in Europe, they've not been with us.
About Okaflex.
Right, okay. Benny should play on Thursday. I agree with that. I'd like to see Benny get a start in the European games.
He's good in those games. He gets space. The European games they're not as intense. It's more suited to him.
Yeah.
He might get another worldy toe punt, Nick, as well. What's he called? The balloon? What do you call it?
The balloon door. The barn door.
Yeah, balloon door. I can't remember.
One of your best lines ever.
Yeah.
Right, let's Nick, did you manage to get any young kid icons?
No.
Sorry?
Yeah, I know.
Nick search engine, young kids.
On the lineups, yeah, I know. On the lineup selection. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find the images for the youth players. So I can throw up the lineup selector anyway, and then what we can do, we can use props. So we can use we can use Ogbonna as Elise, and we can use Cresswell as Baptiste and players like that.
Yeah. Go on then.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That won't be at all confusing.
It won't be confusing. That's all I've got. That's all I've got to work with. I'm sorry.
You're gonna keep track of it.
No.
Let's put the players in who you have got the faces of first.
Let's put the ones that we know.
Put the ones in that you do have the icons of.
Yeah.
So strip it all back.
So first of all, just go over a shape. What shape do you reckon they're going to play on Thursday?
Mate, I've no idea. I don't know. I genuinely don't. I've no idea what he'll do really because it's going to be a totally different team, isn't it? So
I think it just with the shortage of centre halves, surely it's got to be a back four, isn't it?
Yeah, 4-4-2. Good point. Yeah, very good point. So I'd say maybe Arthur left, for Fredericks right.
Yeah, he's coming out.
I think there'll be one experienced centre half there, and I know we probably don't want that in case but I can't see two centre halves being there, and I can't see Crowell being thrown in at centre back either, because then you're not seeing him in his best position, which we all want to see.
Yeah,
I think if we're looking at a Moyes team, I think
Noble's going to play.
Yes,
Noble and Crowell are playing.
Yeah,
Noble and Crowell centre mid. Yeah.
I think that's who it'd be as well. And Crowell will have the legs to cover Noble, so that'll be all right. Yeah. Centre half,
Manzini's out.
I think centre half we're going to see Diop.
You think?
Play.
Yeah.
I think Diop will play alongside one of the kids.
It'll be 1-1 like that. But I think Moyes will go for Dawson. I really would do. But
Well, I'm struggling for players here. So basically, if you take out, I think with Cresswell, you've got to almost because look, I know you know what Moyes is like. He's quite coy. He keeps his cards close to his chest. You could see when Cresswell wrapped his back around that post, that was either going to be a minor impact injury of which he would have already recovered from, or it was going to be serious. He ain't back yet. He weren't even on the bloody bench. I think we need to assume that we haven't got Cresswell even available. So that's another one gone.
Yeah,
Benny can go on the pitch, so that's another one. But all of these, you likes of Dawson, Cresswell, Dawson, Soufal, Diop, Lanzini, Antonio, Souček, Bowen, Rice and Fornals and Fabianski, they are staying out of that team. I would not want them anywhere near it. But
yeah, that's what. Yeah, but you're saying what you would want again, Nick. What do you think he's going to do though?
no, I don't think he will play him, John. Honestly, imagine if he plays Diop or Dawson at centre back and Diop's knee goes.
Well, look, I think he will play one of them. I don't think he's going to go with 2 kids at centre half. It's not his style.
No way.
He's not Allardyce.
Yeah, I think it will be Dawson or Diop. I think personally Dawson, but Gary says Diop alongside one of the kids, definitely.
To be honest, I'm not precious one way or the other. It could be
no. We go Diop.
Yeah, it could be either of the two, couldn't it?
I think that's literally suicide for me.
No. What more? Not for Moyes. He wants to win the game.
Just 2 senior centre backs left. Two fit seniors. This is a dead rubber game that means nothing. It means nothing. Winning it means nothing.
All right. So I think there will be a chance for a kid to play on, looking at this, there'll be a chance for a kid to play on one of the wings. I'm thinking maybe Ben Rama goes in the middle and Harrison Ashby plays on the right wing, or Fredericks get pushed up and Ashby plays on the right as a right back.
Yeah. What happened to Chesters? We forgot about him. He played already, didn't he, in the Euros?
He looked good as well.
He
did look decent, yeah.
Chesters might come on one of the wings as well, mightn't they? Yeah.
Or what do you put about Sonny Perkins up front and Yarmolenko on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Vlasic in the middle.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously we haven't got icons for those. So so I think Perkins is an option. I'd like to see more of him. Would you give him a full game though?
I think you could start him, couldn't you? Give him an hour.
Yeah.
Or something.
Which player have you got in here that's really close enough to the youth team that you can just replicate their head and use them over and over again as a youth team player?
We can use Cresswell. Let's just use Cresswell.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So it's Sonny Perkins. He's a similar height, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sonny Perkins up front. I would love to see that. I would love to see Sonny Perkins given a start on Thursday. I think the crowd will be right up for that. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I would go, judging by the kind of squad seniority, if you like, the one that seems to be rated as the better centre half would be Jamal Baptiste, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's the one that we've all heard about for a while, isn't he?
Yeah,
probably more than the others. So
basically, another youth player, whether that be Elise or Baptiste with Diop.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that'll be about it. I agree with you, Nick. It is a massive risk putting one of our 2 fit centre halves in there, but unless you play a youngster alongside someone who could possibly be their partner, I don't know how you can see whether they're going to be any good or not. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
It's a pairing, isn't it? It's a pairing after all.
It's a good point, but we've got 2 fit first team centre backs, and we've got 7 big games coming up.
Yeah, but with all due respect, Nick, every game we're going to have the same conundrum of having both our only 2 centre backs playing.
But what I'm saying is this is the only game that means nothing.
Yeah,
it should be a rest. It should be a rest week. It should be a rest week.
And that's a good point.
This is a compressed period of games. It's a compressed period of games, and this is a rare opportunity to give ourselves a break. And it's the only one we're going to get up until New Year's Eve. We're not going to get another chance.
I agree. I don't disagree with you, but I'd just be surprised. But we don't know, do we? That's the problem.
No.
Second guessing.
No, we are guessing. Like I say, I'll be amazed if he plays either in this situation. I'd be amazed if he played Dawson or Diop. I don't think he will. I actually don't think he will.
No, I can see why you think that, mate. Totally agree with you. But I can also see the other argument. That's why I'm sort of probably, I'll see it from Moyes' professionalism of not wanting to either get beat or get trounced. You know what I mean? That's the problem. That's what I see.
It is a worry, isn't it? It is a worry.
Yeah, it is a massive worry. Of course it is.
Amaret says here about he might start with too many. Quite a lot of first team players, but I'm not so sure in this instance because it is a meaningless game. It's meaningful to Moyes in that he doesn't want to lose and he doesn't want the team to get embarrassed. So he's not going to do an Allardyce. But I think, for that reason, I think he will only play 2 to 3. He'll only start 2 to 3 kids. He might not even start on. He might bring them on later. But I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't start at least one of the centre halves.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'd like to see Yarmolenko.
Johnson's injured.
Yeah.
But James.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Yarmolenko started as a centre forward, but then it goes back to what we were talking about last night about whether or not Yarmolenko is going to be moving in January, and if that is the case, and Shevchenko is going to sign him, is he really going to give his all? Is he going to risk getting injured? Probably not.
There's a good point. There's a good point here because let's be honest, Nick. You've started getting angry at Moyes already over this, and that is if he does play Diop or Dawson and one of them gets injured,
he will get slated. I'll slate him.
He will get slaughtered.
If he plays Diop or Dawson and one of them get injured in that game,
but Nick,
it's negligence as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but Nick, I don't think he.
No, it is.
Yeah, but no, I know. I don't. You say negligence, but I don't know.
I think Fredericks is back, isn't he? Was he not?
I think so. I've heard he's back.
Yeah. Look, Fredericks being back and Fredericks being injured again, he's only like 30 minutes apart anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's roughly what it'll be. I'll be surprised if he turns up and plays a back five due to the lack of centre halves. I don't think he can.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he will.
Usually the European team usually represents the same formation as what we play in the league. It keeps the A and the B team very tight together, doesn't he? And the way we finished the game on Saturday was with a back four out of desperation. So I think he's got to go back to that.
But do you not think
he wasn't on the bench? He wasn't on the bench on Saturday.
Fredericks weren't. No.
But Gary, do you not think with that sort of if we put enough, we've got some good attackers there. If you've got for Europe, if you've got Yarmolenko, Ben Rama, Vlasic, and the young Aaron Cresswell up front, Sonny Perkins, I think that's a good attack, and that's enough to give them problems. So, and like I say, I think you've just got to go back to what I think changed in that Chelsea game, and that was in the first half. We camped in our own half. We tried to sort of, do our usual against Chelsea, and it didn't work. It weren't working, and he changed it in the second half. We went after them. We stretched probably because Moyes could see our weaknesses defensively, and he thought, do you know what? I've got to fucking get Chelsea as far away from our defence as I can, and the only way to do that is to attack and stretch them and push them back. So, Gary's gone.
I'm back.
So what that could result in for me, if Moyes hasn't got faith in his defence, what we could be, we could be in for some juicy attacking football coming up.
Yeah, I think
we could be.
I'm really looking forward to Thursday night just because there's such an eager anticipation at seeing a full house. 60,000 people. It's a sellout again. I think the light show and everything, and you got potentially a couple of up and coming kids from the under 23s. That really gets my juices flowing. I love that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I bought my free tickets as a package for the European games, and obviously as this was coming around, we thought, it's a dead rubber. So my excitement was a little bit lessened but now because of the injuries in a way, and because we might see some of these players we ain't seen, Krell, Vlasic, some of the kids, it's actually perked me up a little bit looking forward to it. Do you know what I mean? Seeing something different.
Yeah, me too. I really am looking forward to it. I was trying to search just now. I was trying to search for some injury news for Ryan Fredericks, just because he wasn't.
I thought he was back, but they didn't want to risk him yet. I just thought he was. I thought he was back in training last week. If I'm honest, maybe not full training, but I might be wrong.
He's not the sort of player. Unfortunately, he's not the sort of player you look for, is he? You kind of forget all about him, to be honest.
Where's your camera? Your camera let you down again, John?
Mate, I don't know what's happened.
Fair enough.
I'll give up.
I mean, he does so brilliantly, little flashes, Fredericks. I mean,
I really like him. I really
remember that Man United Cup game where he made the goal. He went on that fantastic run, and then he cut the ball back, and he fucking fell down the hill on the side of the pitch, didn't he? And then done his ankle. He's either very unfortunate.
He's had a lot of bad luck with us, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he really has.
It's not been ideal for him, bless him. But again, he's we've got a few players like that. I think Yarmolenko is the main one. Like I say, we had that long conversation the other night, John, about what striker we should be doing rather than say neither of us mentioned Yarmolenko. He was on the he was on the bench. It's like you just forget that you've got him.
Yeah, because you don't see when you look at him, because of his body language and that, you don't see that he's really interested. So because you feel he's lost interest in you as a fan and a club, you probably lose interest in him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit like dating. It's a bit like dating a bird who don't want to know you anymore, isn't it? After a while, you give up as well. It is, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Before we wrap up, because we're coming to the end of this beautiful Sunday night show, I want to try something out on this audience, and it's something that I've stolen from Upton Park Life, one of the Facebook groups, and it's a little feature called Nearly West Ham, right, where people send in photos of things that are nearly West Ham. So I've got a few to show you, just as an example. I'm just going to cycle through them. Some of them are a little bit obscure. One of them is, anyway. Well, one John couldn't work out.
I couldn't work it out. No, I'm not the brightest, am I?
But anyway, some of them are pretty obvious. So here we go. The first one.
That's the one I didn't get, wasn't it?
Pretty obvious. Nearly West Ham, right? This one.
Yep.
Nearly West Ham. Carlton's pole. Clearly, nearly West Ham.
Yeah.
The Declan Terra Suede shoe.
Oh my God.
Well, it's getting desperate now, isn't it? It's getting desperate. Here's one that's even more desperate, right? This is from Rome International Airport.
Jesus Christ.
E13.
And this, I think, is from somewhere around near Bracknell Way.
Westerham. That'd be Wokingham.
I think it's Woking.
Wokingham, okay.
Yeah.
Wokingham.
And there's one final one. Let's see if Nick gets it, because this went straight over John's head.
Yeah, Pi Capital. They were.
See? I wasn't the only one.
Pi Capital. Yeah.
Yeah, well, neither of them.
I thought he was a tax man after me again, PAYE.
Yeah.
Right, so that's it. So I think we've come to the end. We got anything else? We got any other comments we need to read out? Hang on a minute.
Have a whiz for him.
Must have taken that photo last Christmas. Oh, it's Ross. Hello, Ross.
Declan highly priced, as in the shoes.
Yeah. I think so. Right.
And Freshfielder just said he wouldn't be surprised if Ashby was thrown straight in.
I'd like to see that, because Ashby, there's always been a buzz around Ashby about he actually looks like a pretty decent player. He looks like someone that's going to become a regular first teamer. Yeah. So I'd really like to see him. And the odd couple of times that I have seen him, he's looked really promising. Right. So I'd love to see him thrown in, especially. I was trying to find a place for him earlier when we were mucking around with the team. I was trying to squeeze him in anywhere down the right, and if Fredericks ain't fit, then perhaps that is the perfect opportunity for him to come in.
Yeah, for sure. It's an opportunity for Moyes and the squad, isn't it, and the kids, Yeah.
I'll tell you what we have got. If you want to just quickly whiz through them, you've got obviously the current, or it was the current league table. Where we are at the moment. Now for me, all I'm really concerned about here are the kind of, it's just a London teams, to be honest, not Wolves or Man United. We want to be, if we can, one of the biggest London clubs. So for me, coming up towards the end of the year, obviously we know what our fixtures are. So our run of games, obviously we've got Burnley and Arsenal away. I mean, it's not. It ain't a bad run. I mean Burnley. Well, I think going there now, I quite fancy that. Do
you remember last year against Burnley? Diop and Dawson had a really good game.
Yeah. And like I say, Arsenal, flip of a coin, anything can happen there. I think we could do them. We know that. West Ham, we've got to beat Norwich. I mean, Norwich they're just pointless, aren't they?
Tottenham beat them 3-0.
Yeah, I know. They're a pointless team. And then, like I say, you got Southampton. What?
Oh, you're so harsh.
They are.
Anyone from Norfolk's just switched off.
Even Delia was falling asleep the other day when she was in the crowd, wasn't she? Just here.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
But yeah, so then we've got Southampton, we've got Watford. So what I'm saying is but our running ain't bad, right? And then if you look at Arsenal, again, Oh, to be honest, that ain't a bad run either, is it? What they've got now. If you look at the games they've got some bloody good games there. Everton is shit.
But
They should beat
I think Everton
Southampton.
have got to turn a corner soon.
Yeah, I know, but
I
that's
really
that's a really good run that they've got there as well. So Arsenal are obviously, they're coming for us. Chelsea, we won't even look at Chelsea. They're irrelevant.
Arsenal ain't coming for us. We're going to turn that around. We're going to
this
beat
lot
Arsenal.
this lot are coming for us. If they win their game in hand, they're above us. They're in top 4. And
they're away to Burnley in that game in hand. That's going to be a tough one, right? It's going to be a tough one. Away to Brighton is not an easy game. Away to Leicester, not easy. Home to Liverpool, not easy. They've got a bastard run coming up. Even at home to Palace ain't easy. Away to Southampton ain't easy.
No.
Even away to Watford ain't easy. That is a bad run of games. I'll tell you what, if we do as well as we think we're going to do in that next run of games and Spurs basically go and win all of theirs, they deserve to be above us.
Yeah, they do. They do. But what I'll tell you one good thing, though. When you flick back to ours, who we got? Yeah, we got Norwich before that quarter final. Who Spurs got? Fucking Liverpool. Look at that. Look.
Yeah.
Nick, do you remember when there was the rumor about Conte coming in, and you said he's coming in at a great time because he's coming in when they've got very winnable games?
They did the same with Mourinho.
Spurs, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying to you.
They've got impeccable timing when they bring managers in.
Listen, mate. They've turned the corner when they've really had a good run of fixtures.
Yeah.
Right. That corner ain't really been turned. It's been glossed over, mate.
Yeah, no, I know.
They've still got Kane still hasn't scored at home yet.
No. Yeah. Well, apparently today, according to a very biased Spurs fan who I was talking to today at the go-kart. No, he's not biased to be fair. But they won 3-0, but apparently they didn't have it all their own way. Norwich were playing some of the better football in that game.
Exactly.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're coming to an end of this Sunday night show, and I think that's been a nice little hangover cure. I'm all ready for work in the morning now. So, John, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, mate. So, we're still really enjoying what we're doing. We're still on the air. We haven't been pulled off yet. If you're enjoying the Killerton brothers, Reggie and Ronnie, as they're affectionately known by some in other quarters, and myself, who obviously I've got a face for radio, while my camera keeps going off. Like and subscribe to our channel. If you want to mention us to friends and family that you may know support West Ham, or generally just like general football chit chat as well, which we try and cover in a broader sense, then we really appreciate everyone who has subscribed and anyone who will do going forward. So hopefully you've enjoyed little shindig tonight. We all have got an hangover, so it's been a nice one.
Yeah,
thanks very much, Joe.
Right, well, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.